and that's fine because
I texted her. I don't know. She hasn't written back.
also, you know, I mean, Jim has enough to say for 2 people, so.
I'm wordy.
It's,
Oh yeah, I like that wordy. Yeah.
all right. Well, let's get this thing started. All right, guys, let's do this thing. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another terrible podcast by comics. I am your host, Eerie Diamond, comedian. Oh, I thought you guys were gonna clap. This is my co-host, aspiring professional comedian. Wait, did I get wrong again?
No, you never get it
Professional
right.
aspiring
There
comedian.
it is. Yeah, that's right.
Me Dave, everybody.
Oh, hi, everybody. Hi, my
Yay,
friend.
me
Yay.
Dave. I'd like to introduce our one of our guests is not here yet, but we are going to get started with our first guest, Mr. I don't know how you want to be introduced. You have
Either
many
way,
names,
it's 5.
many names.
2.
Jim Kingfish Sweeney.
Hi.
Hello. So why don't you introduce yourself?
Okay. I'm Jim, and I run a burlesque show called the Hubba Hubba Review that's been around for 13 and a half years up until everything shut down. And that's about it.
That's his. Go ahead.
I was going to say,
Well,
I mean, you know, we'll get to the details as we get to them.
Okay. Well, I do want to just say a little bit more about your show because you have an amazing show. He's taken his show to Cobb's. It's at the DNA. There's one giant show that's like the whole building, and then he also does Monday night shows in upstairs space, and he also co-brands with a lot of different people all over. He's taken his show to the Burlesque Hall of Fame. I mean, he's also hosted a lot of other burlesque shows. So he's a very big part of the burlesque world, and produces hundreds and hundreds of shows, you know, throughout the years. And he's amazing.
I think we passed 1,000 shows sometime this year.
Yeah, you can go syndicated now. You know that.
I know, right? I'd
That's
be on UPN.
right. Be great. I get to see you on channel 44.
Well, we used to be on channel 20,
Wait, I can't hear
which
you.
isn't like a real TV station. I said we used to be on channel 20 on TV 20, Coffee TV 20. But I used to say that wasn't like a real TV station. It was more like there was a TV station there, and these punk rock guys found it.
Yes. Yeah, you guys were on what's it called? That what was the name of that show?
Creepy Coffee Movie Time.
Yeah. He's a regular on that.
Comedians used to do sets on that thing, on the
Yeah.
coffee thing, yeah.
Comedians. Yep. Comedians.
I saw some awful comedians on there, too, yeah.
Yeah.
There were some good ones, but some very bad ones, too, made it
Yeah.
up.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Those are my
that's
favorite
part of the
sets,
whole
too.
show.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
Yeah.
Dave's the only person I know that really enjoys when people bomb.
No, if you want to check out a good one, this guy named Zergog, I think his name was. He was a DJ, and he has I think a couple sets on Creepy Coffee, and they are hilariously awful. Actually, I'm gonna go find the links for him right now and share them with the group.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you guys keep talking.
Yeah, there were some very flat moments.
Which is ironic
okay.
considering there was like 8 like girls scantily clad drinking on the set to have flat moments.
And also the people who showed up, like the audience that would come, were like some of the funnest people ever. And like some of those folks still come to our live shows, or until we stopped having live shows, all these years later. And like that was the best thing about Creepy Coffee, was that there was this like community of super weirdos who like showed up for it every time. But whatever. I mean, you know, that's not what we're here to talk about.
No, but that was a fun show, and I loved watching everybody get hammered, and that was.
Yeah.
They were actually drinking. That wasn't a lie.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Everybody was drunk, or high, or both.
Especially what was the monster's name?
Balrock.
Balrock, yeah.
Although I don't know if he never really seemed like he was too fucked up, but some of the other
Oh, no, I saw.
Okay, all
he was
right.
doing one of these, like, kind of, yeah. Anyway,
He was a nice guy. He was a stand-up too, by the way.
yeah, he was nice.
Yep.
So, do we want to do listen up, Dave? I'm not used to being the one. You have the agenda. Why don't
You
you?
need practice. You clearly need practice. So I'll let you lead. You're helming this.
Oh man, this is hard.
All right, everybody. I mean, it's good we got 9 people total here tonight. Eerie's taking the helm tonight. That's why I had her invite her, the Kingfish, who I've met before. We've worked on the match game together and some other,
Yep.
I think, yeah.
We did a podcast.
We've met in person. We had, I think, at Eerie's one time.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right, at the podcast. So,
With the big tall guy. I can't remember his name, but the very tall comedian.
Oh, Paul
Paul
Conyers.
Conyers.
He's going to be on next week, actually.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, next week will be a good white man versus white man show. I'm eating that ginger. Now it's messing me up. But no, Eerie, come on. This is your chance.
I'm sorry, you're right. Listen up. So
No.
listen up is when we all kind of talk about something and we are in an uninterrupted way. I'm sorry. Dave, do you want to start?
I've been on the show. I think everybody's heard me.
Okay.
I mean, I even know kind of Dario, even though I've never seen Dario.
Mario's Grimes.
I'm dumb. So yeah, well, iPhone I think even knows me. iPhone I've gotten pretty close to. Well, but what was it? I was listen up. I'm a comedian. I know all of you. We had a great show at the drive-in last night. We did our drive-in comedy show. Oddly enough, though, this is what really kind of burns me. We had put on a great show last night. However, was our lowest tipping audience, I found out, which really put a little chap in my hide. Even though everybody got taken care of okay, but I know that place, and it just really stuck in my craw because we put on a hell of a show for them, and so now we're going to be bombarding them with information regarding the fact that it's, we say it's free. And it is free technically for people that, have a hardship or whatever. But if they don't have a hardship, they better give till it fucking hurts. And so we're gonna be a lot more forceful next time. So yeah, she forgot her sign too. She's got to go get her Venmo sign. The people that donate in this group already know it by heart. Eerie, you don't need the sign. I'm saying we got the beautiful. They don't need the sign. They know you by heart. They probably got it in their. We got the most generous group right here. Yeah. See, she's got it. She knows.
You don't know there might be a new. There could be an
iPhone.
iPhone might be new.
iPhone. It could be one of like a few people that I know is like a regular checking it out person.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, so I want to say something about the drive-in show. So the drive-in show is pretty cool. I think everybody knows what it is. Jim, this is a very interesting concept, just so you know. It's in a parking lot, and it's just like a drive-in movie. You go and you drive in, and then there's a giant blow-up screen, and you get on a stage, and then they film you and they project it onto the giant blow-up screen, which is it's just like that. It's very cool. And the weirdest thing though is you're waiting for laughs. People are honking and blinking their lights. So it's super bizarre. And
you know about the drive-through strip club in Portland?
Yeah. I follow some of the girls that work there on Instagram.
Nice.
Wait, I don't
For the
know.
articles.
No, for the girls. I'm.
Okay. Okay, so Jim, I'm sorry, not Bobo. Kingfish, would you like to talk about anything as far as like just talk about what's going on with you or anything like that? Or you want to get right to the live shows, talking about the subject at hand?
Well, I'll just jump in on what Dave said, which is that, free shows aren't free. No shows are free. Somebody somewhere is paying for it in time or talent or space or whatever. And, yeah, we're all in this together, but nobody's taking it harder on the chin than performers, comedians, musicians, so forth and so on. And if that's where you're saving money, not tipping those people while you're enjoying their product, you're doing it wrong. So just remember, well, we're not Netflix. We don't have like.
We noticed a demographic shift. This was my producer, Mike Bucci. You guys might know him. I think everybody here knows him, but most people know him as the guy who's in this photo, Tiger King. Councilman Mike Bucci. This is what got him elected. And but no, he was saying he did some advertising through the Facebook to widen it, and he was aiming at young people, and I was like, we don't want young people. the young people, I've done shows, the free shows for young people, and doesn't matter what good jobs they have, they're not generous people, and it's usually like at least late 20s beyond. So and we still did good. It was just, I know the measure of the show, and I want to see, like, because there's permits and stuff that go into it, so I want to see Mike be able to. Michael, it'll break even on that on that front, but still, it's nice to make a little extra to help, so he could throw a little something for the because he has a staff of volunteers. That's how good Mike Bucci is, like his friends and the people around him. And I stayed for the first time to get a ride with one of them until they were done. They have it down. Like we were out of there by 11:45, which if you saw that, I showed you the setup. You see this setup right here, and it looks so incredibly epic with all of that. That screen is huge. I don't know the exact measurements of it all, but and they have to deflate it. They got the huge stage thing. They got to do all that stuff, and their team, they did it 4 weeks in a row in June, and then this time it's funny because they've had 3 weeks off, but they were all dialed in, and we were out of there by 11 because like Eerie was waiting with me because I was waiting to just get paid, and then but I didn't want to like push them or nothing. But then when they were like, I saw how close they were, I'm like, I want to stay till the end, and so then I just told Eerie to kick rocks, and I'll get a ride with these guys. So
nice. Yeah, it looks amazing.
Yeah. So, yeah, your first, since Eerie's having trouble asking this question, how is the lack of live shows affecting you, sir?
Well, we used to do 6 or 7 shows a month, not including special events or holidays, like, Halloween week would be like a whole week worth of shows. But just generally, regularly, 6 or 7 shows a month. I booked those shows. I emceed most of them, and did all the interface with performers and the tech people and all that. So I used to work like probably, I don't know, 60, 75 hours a week. Wow. And now I'm really, really catching up on those Washington Post articles, So, yeah, it's affected me immensely. My entire business disappeared, and, who knows when it's coming back.
Because that's the thing. Is like when your schedule's so filled up doing all this, and then it just completely drops on you. You got all that energy. Like, what am I supposed? I'm just expected to stay home. What the hell?
We booked 75 to 85 performers a month, and and now that's just gone. Like, that's just mind blowing to me that all those people, just aren't doing their thing. And it's just like, oh, okay, I guess that's just stopped.
We had a good question from Melanie. To be specific, what exactly? Because I'm somewhat familiar, but I'm coming from you. You would know better. What consists of a burlesque show? What is the the definition of a burlesque show?
Righto. Yeah. Well, okay. So I gotta take one step back and say that we were a burlesque and variety show.
Burlesque and variety.
So that would include anything from like Eerie's doing stand-up at the show. We've done stand-up comedians. We also do circus acts and
magic,
music acts, and what?
I was going to say magic. You got some magic.
Yeah, we've had magicians. Yeah, but the most of the show is burlesque, which is it's any kind of striptease that tells a little story set to music, and it can be anywhere from what they call classic, which is what you think of when you think of the feather fans and the gal in the 1940s or 50s setting, just doing a classy striptease. And it can be crazy punk rock stuff, it can be political, it can be all kinds of things. It's really just, it comes down to this ownership and autonomy of sexuality that the women involved in burlesque, they take it, they own it, and then they make it their own thing. And there's usually a little story in the act. The costuming is part of it, but overall the experience is you're watching this performer or performers telling a little story in typically about 4 minutes.
Okay.
And taking their clothes off, which is part of it. Owning that sexuality.
Yay in the other room. I could hear.
Yes. That often gets a big cheer.
He's yelled yay again. Yeah. Okay, stop.
Yeah.
I was gonna. How is it affecting you? Like, how's it affecting you, like, emotionally? I realize financially it's affecting you because that sucks, but
yeah, that sucks. Well, it's been depressing, and I've been doing this thing in one form or another back to the 90s now, so my entire identity is wrapped up in the producing and emceeing and production of shows. And so to have that just come to a complete stop is, it's very difficult.
Yeah.
Not to mention, it's not just the shows, and I'm sure we'll talk about more about this in a moment, but it's also the venues. And the performers are sitting there going, when am I going to perform again? And the producers are sitting there saying, when am I going to produce again? But the real issue that's hanging over all of that is the industry itself, and more than one place, not like one guy said this, this is like throughout, is guessing that 90% of all independent venues will be closed by the time this is, over. And when you put that into perspective and you think about 1 out of 10 remaining venues, those venues already have Friday and Saturday night material. They already have all their weekdays booked with all the stuff that was in them before. And now everybody is going to be trying to get into those last venues, and it's just not going to happen. And I don't want to just rain on everybody's parade here, but that gets mentioned on places like Facebook or whatever, and everybody runs out with oh no, it's going to be great, we're going to do warehouse shows again. Well, I'm sorry, what city do you live in, and did you last go out in 2003? Because all those warehouses are gone. All the places you raved in 17 years ago no longer exist. There's not some giant swath of unlicensed venues waiting for you to put shows in. They're all gone. So we're looking at what is kind of like the live entertainment apocalypse.
Yeah.
I hope I cheered everybody up.
No, but it's comedy is very similar in the way of, and Dave knows this too, is we'll do comedy in a fucking cafe, we'll do comedy in a donut shop. We don't give a fuck. But the problem
I have a photo here of doing it at a convalescent home.
Yep.
Yeah.
I did comedy at that convalescent home.
Yeah.
But here's
I actually got kicked out. I got 86 from the place. So yeah.
Oh, that is new for you. That is new. New bar, Dave. But here's the thing. On that is, but the real comedy clubs, the Cobbs and the Punchline and the Improv, I don't know if they're going to come back. I don't know if that's going to happen again. And that's really.
Cobbs and Punchline are owned by Live Nation, though.
I was just going to say that. They'll be fine. They'll be there.
We're talking. Yeah, he's talking about independent venues.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the problem, though, is that the corporate venues will still exist.
Mm.
You might lose a few, but none of those corporate venues are going to be going, okay, well, let's fill our schedule with local stuff. They're just
that's the pick of the litter, really.
That's true. We have a friend, DNA, who has his own comedy venue out in Santa Cruz, right? And he's struggling. I mean, those are the kind of places that we're talking about for sure that are just probably not going to come back. I mean, David and I both have shows at bars, and
a lot of bars are closed.
The bar is gonna come back because
Poet and the Patriot, which was a popular bar that they had an open mic and a show, they're shutting down. Which, I mean, for Santa Cruz, that's like one of their favorite spots. It's not, the DNA's Comedy Lab and Crow's Nest or anything like that. And it hurts everywhere, and it's just, you're hearing about it every other day almost.
Well, and here's another thing to think about, and it includes bars and coffee shops and all those independent and small business places. Here's the thing. All the businesses that we know of that we perform in, we're already running on a knife edge. And all their expenses, what they have to pay to keep the doors open, we're all predicated on them making a certain amount of business, right? And that includes insurance and rent and maintenance and, employee payroll and, employee health insurance. All those things were based on a certain level of business. If you're talking about a nightclub, now, maybe coffee shops might be a different deal, maybe bars. But if you're talking about a nightclub, that is factored by selling the place out. That's how they stay in business, is sellouts. Well, you aren't going to have nights where you're going to be selling out, even if you want to. And, even when they reopen, you're not going to have 400, 500 people packed wall to wall into a building. That's just not going to happen. And so even the ones that survive being shut down, when they reopen, it's not going to be great.
Yeah.
So,
and actually, let's move on to that's actually number 5. We'll skip around. What do you think things will look like after the apocalypse? Like, let's fast forward to a couple of years, 2 years from now, maybe even a year from now, when everything finally is like, yay, eradicated. Nice background, by the way, Dave.
What's he got?
No, I keep this for my COVID.
That's basically it. That's accurate.
Yeah. Together.
So, it's 3 things, actually. I said it's 2 things, but it's 3 things. First thing is, how do we get from now till then? And obviously things like this podcast, that's one way, right? A lot of people doing Zoom shows, things like that, or things like that very innovative show with the people in their cars watching comedy. That, those are all ways we get from this part to the next part. The next part is not doors open, let in 400 people. The next part is, well, you can open the doors, but you got to be socially distanced, and you got to have, everybody's got to have masks, and you got to who knows? I don't. They say talk about checking people's temperature, but if you already have a temperature, you're already sick. But anyway, so that's the next part. So how do we survive that? And then the third part is what's left when those two parts are done, and how do we survive that? So I think, like, you know, we talk about what people are doing right now. What happens next is when they do open the doors and they do start letting people in, I think it's going to be a combination of trying to make enough money off of a very limited audience, and also probably broadcasting shows, live shows, and trying to get money off of that too, trying to combine the two. And then to try to get to the last stage, that's what I was talking about, when it's going to be a matter of, well, Eerie's got her comedy show and Jim has his burlesque show, and there's this battle of the bands night, and there's this DJ night, and they all want to be on one of the last remaining nights available in a venue. So the next question then becomes, how do we shuffle that? I think what's going to happen is we're going to see venues scheduling multiple events in one night. So it'll be like, come to the comedy show at 6, the burlesque show at 8, the DJ at 10, things like that. So, I mean, that's what I see that's what I guess is coming.
Yeah.
AT&T just, oh, go ahead.
There's a few comments I want to kind of mention. Denise,
tell my mom I'm eating elderberry. I want to let my mom know I'm eating my elderberry right now.
Ooh, so healthy.
trying to be healthy.
Immune system. Oh.
Deneen wanted to know, burlesque, has it been able to translate into Zoom? I mean, I know Dave and I, we've been doing a lot of, we're doing a lot of Zoom stuff. There's a lot of Zoom stuff happening. And then we're also seeing a lot of like outdoor comedies happening more now. Like the drive-in, I'm doing a thing at Sally Tomatoes on Tuesday. That's like an outdoor thing. Everyone's distanced.
We did it when it was dangerous indoors a couple weeks ago. Parents were there too. Like, yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Like, yeah, so dangerous. I mean, we could have, I mean, I'm looking at my folks. How are you feeling, Mom? You good? All right, good. And it's been a couple weeks. So
I don't know.
We're playing with fire.
I don't see Mark there, though. Mark okay?
Oh, Mark's fine. He's always, his anger will get him through anything.
He went to go get his elderberry.
Yeah,
hell yeah.
Everyone's staying healthy. So have you seen anything like that in the burlesque community? Anybody doing anything like that, or trying to do something?
Well, I wish that Sarge was here. Sargent Device has been doing a lot of Zoom shows. We Hubba for I guess, was it 4 shows or 5 shows? I can't remember. We took old YouTube videos of acts at our big show and put them together with me pre-recorded hosting them as a character. And I was this like Alistair Cook kind of guy, whatever. Anyway, so yeah, there was a huge burst in the very beginning, like April, of Zoom burlesque shows. And valiant effort. And I know that for a lot of people, yeah, it was financial, but it was also about filling that gap in their life that, all of a sudden they weren't able to go out and burlesque anymore. The very uneven, like some shows were super pro, some shows weren't. My thing about it was I felt what everyone was calling the living room shows. I felt that was the wrong way to go, like performing burlesque in your living room with your camera phone on you and a table lamp. And my take on it was, okay, if you're doing that and you're asking people to watch and pay to see that, you're literally reminding them with every second you're on that everybody's trapped in their living room. And that's why I didn't do those kind of shows at first. I felt that people wanted to, if anything, they wanted to see the lights and the sound and the big stage and the production of an actual, live show. but except the irony being that it wasn't live and the living room shows were. But anyway, but yeah, there was a lot of Zoom, and now it's gotten way better. And Sarge certainly has done a great job. There's a thing called the Burlesque Hall of Fame in Las Vegas, which is, it's like our annual big convention. And every year there's like a 4-day thing they call the Weekender, which involves giant showcases, performers from all across the world, giant 50-foot stage at the Orleans showroom. And this year, instead of the Weekender, they're doing it all on the internet every Saturday and Sunday in August. So yeah, absolutely.
Can I ask you, so what are they doing it like, is it like in their living room, or are they doing it like at clubs, or how is that working?
They're sending in videos, but a lot of them, I don't know this, don't tell anyone. A lot of them are much more highly
There was
produced.
some secret that just went on. What were you? I can't read lips, man.
What did you say?
Go on in.
As far as I know, a lot of videos are very highly produced, like not just set up a camera in the living room kind of thing.
Got it.
As far as I know.
Oh, you're kind of hinting that they might be reruns.
No, not that.
Okay.
Porn shoot. Are they porn shoots?
Porn shoot. It's all porn. Everything's porn.
How many words? 3 words? How many words? 3 words. What does it sound like? Sounds like.
I think I already called it, Eerie.
Yeah, you got it.
Oh!
There's good production value in. Jason knows, he's worked in editing for porn for years, so it's like, yeah.
Have you, Jason?
Double. He was a guest on our show, and we talked about it.
No, I know. I just always think that's interesting. I had a friend who did makeup on porn shoots over in San Francisco at the Big Armory, and she has some awesome stories, dude. She had like,
all right, I got to tell an Armory story.
The bruises she had to cover and where they were, and no, it's okay, Melanie. You just the look. Yeah, you and Deneen just got the weirdest look on your face, like.
Deneen knows what's up. No, Deneen knows what's up. Melanie may need some catching up. But
I'm just saying oh my God, the stories she had to tell of some porn people coming in just looking just terrible, and she's like, I got to make this look pretty, like from every angle. Oh God, like.
Okay, so there was a gal who used to work at the Porn Palace who was also in the production team of Hubba Hubba Review, and she told us a number of stories.
Yeah.
But one time it was show night, and she like came in all pissed off, just like rah, 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 rah. And I was like, "Whoa, what's wrong?" She's like, "I just came from work." Oh, and by the way, at the Porn Palace, she was like the admin. She's like the admin in the building, right? I'm like, "Well, what's the matter?" And she goes, "Well, I don't know about your job, but at my job, I have to leave notes on the office door that say, if you used the real doll last night, clean it before you put it away."
I mean, that just seems like it'd be good procedure. I mean,
yeah, that's just common manners, man.
Yeah, exactly.
In the employee handbook there. That is ridiculous.
I would know that just from working at Little Caesars, man. You clean up. Yeah.
So on a lighter
I didn't know
note,
that because of the carpool lane.
on a lighter note, Bobo. I mean, on a lighter note, Kingfish. You got any? Is there like some good? I've known Jim for a really long time. Okay.
I know. Yeah.
Jim and I have been friends for over 30 years. So 30, 20,
Whoa.
something like 20, 15, because we're very young.
Yes.
Previous girlfriend Molly calls her cat Bobo, even though his name's Sully.
Oh, really?
When I heard Bobo, I'm like, oh, Bobo.
Jim, do you have any good do you have any good stories, any good burlesque silly stories that you've got to have a million of them. You've had the weirdest shit happen to you. He also has a person in his show regularly that is dressed in a gorilla costume. So if that's Gorilla X, just gives you an idea of what a show is like. It's a little.
Oh, I came
wild.
here all fired up to like complain, and now you're asking me for funny stories. I mean,
Is it called Gorilesque when it's a gorilla? I mean, is it
His name is
Gorilla X.
Gorilesque? Is that what it is?
Good friend of mine. He does not strip. He's just one of the co-hosts, and he's amazing. And
He's a professional gorilla.
he is a professional. That's his job. Well, he has another job, but
That's a real.
he's also got like a fucking master's degree and shit. He's like a very intelligent gorilla. He's like
Coco. He can do sign language.
He's like the gorilla on Tarzan. You know what I mean? He's got an English accent and he's very, very intelligent. But I'm sorry, on what was it, baby? On George of the Jungle. Sorry, George of the Jungle. But yes, any good stories, Kingfish? Any good stories you might have?
Oh man,
No?
you put me on the spot.
That's
I
okay.
mean,
Just think about
I
it.
didn't have that queued up. You know what I'm saying? Like
No,
I thought we were gonna just sit here and like rage against the machine and like.
and we have, and it's been fun. I'm
We've
just
been raging with the
curious.
machine. We've been working with the machines a lot. I mean, I'll say one of the things that made me curious about. I mean, I imagine burlesque is more difficult to adapt in the Zoom, but I do know that OnlyFans is very popular. I myself have never used it. I just follow a lot of Instagram girls, and they always keep pushing their OnlyFans. And I'm just and I don't even know what's really offered in the shit. But I imagine there's videos and one-on-ones and whatever the hell. Curious if there's ever any of that kind of.
Oh yeah, I mean, you know, it's like a spectrum, right? Like some folks in burlesque are also club strippers. Some folks in burlesque are middle-aged moms with teenage kids, but you know, somewhere on that spectrum, you know, everybody makes their own like space for what they like to do. And yes, there are a number of burlesque performers who are also on OnlyFans, and there are a number of burlesque performers that aren't.
There's been some comedians that are workshopping new material on OnlyFans.
That's
recently, like some well-known ones. Yeah, I was cracking up at that. Big J Okerson being the most known one, I think. But the other thing was I did I did a show at hosting for this band Mordred, and they did this live event, and they had let me see if I remember her name, but they had a burlesque dancer on both shows, and their event seemed like went pretty good. I think her name's like Nutty something.
Nutty Bolts.
Nutty Bolts, that's her name.
Oh yeah,
I know.
Yeah, she was great, really nice too. And but no, and they did a live streaming thing on Twitch. Has like Twitch been anything that you've crossed paths with doing anything or?
Yeah, also Twitch. I have very limited experience with this, but I've heard that Twitch is very sensory.
Yeah, no, they were. Yeah, no, that's true.
Yeah.
That's right. I heard something about that.
There's a friend of ours who's a trans woman who was DJing on Twitch and had a nip slip and then got banned. And it was like, wow, that is like the least way you want anyone to recognize your sexuality is getting banned on fucking Twitch. But, you know, whatever. Yeah.
The irony that I've seen a lot of girls playing, like girls that, I mean, I'm sure girls play video games all the time now, but there were just, none of these girls were playing video games when I was growing up. You know,
girls play D&D now. What's that all about?
Yeah, every single, that's what I'm saying. They play D&D.
Oh, I'm so sorry. You could have got dates back in the day,
all
Jim.
kinds of, you know, they're Melvin's fans. There's just all kinds of shit, and it wasn't like this when I was a child.
I'm so sorry you guys weren't living in a good time, you know?
I mean, it's fine. I mean, I'm not bitter or anything. I'm just saying.
A little bit. Jim, how are you doing personally? How's that?
Well, I mean, you know, getting by. Yeah. You know, I got Joyce here, and that's good. And we're in our little house. Yeah, it looks like that. Yeah. And I mean, that end of it is great. If I had to be like locked on a generation ship going through space for all of my life. At least I'm here with Joyce.
Joyce is his magnificent and fucking great, cool wife, and I'm so happy he married. I'm so happy he didn't marry somebody I hate, because that's awesome. I love. Bobo's a very good friend of mine, but yeah. And does Minx still live there, or is she not living there anymore?
Oh no, she moved out ages ago. She actually moved out right. She officially moved out at the end of last month, but she hasn't lived here since the shelter in place started.
Okay, so it's just you guys and one cat.
We don't have a cat.
No cat, no cats, no nothing, huh?
Nope. I can go out and pet some raccoons there, but that's about it.
That's about it. Wow. Well, I don't know. How are you doing mentally? Are you hanging in there? I mean, you seem okay.
I mean, yeah, I'm doing okay. Everything I mentioned is weighs on me, but I mean, as far as apocalypses go, this one's pretty mild, I guess.
So far.
Yeah.
There was a band that I loved growing up. Jason and I used to listen to Grotus, and they have a name of an album called Slow Motion Apocalypse, which
that is exactly what this feels like.
They were
like maybe it just starts with one zombie, and you're like, it's just one zombie, right? And then maybe like a year later, you're like, there's like a lot more zombies now. This is That's kind of how I feel
but
too.
The zombies are all wearing pajamas.
Yeah, because nobody has to put any clothes on these days. And they're all overweight. Anybody gained weight since the apocalypse? Anybody?
Okay, oddly enough, I haven't, and I was sure I had. And I somehow, I got older, but but I didn't get fatter. Yep.
The secret is I don't weigh myself. So I'm still the same.
So no, that's Trump's doing that with the testing. He's like, we won't have any more cases.
No COVID in my room. I can tell you that much. So.
Yeah. Dave, how are you doing? You're doing a lot more stuff now though, which is good. You're doing. I see you doing a lot more shows and stuff.
That was last week. That was 1 week, Eerie.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got real excited for you.
Back to Desolate Thursday and Sunday this week, so it's not, and which is not a bad thing. Last week was a busy week, and that was it. But that's the way these things work. Like, I'm not complaining about it. I'm definitely more the person that if like somebody drops out of a show last minute, they're like, oh, I mean Dave, he might not be busy. And also, I forget what gigs I have these days, so I might have a gig. I just fucking forgot. But no, between our Thursday show and tell show and this, and then also I do a little check-in. I have a pre-recorded check-in for the Suzette Vanetti show. She Suzette Vanetti, drag queen in Sacramento. She has a show on Twitch that she does at 7:00, and I do a check-in there. And but yeah, she's pretty tied into a lot of the community up there, the LGBTQ entertainment community in Sacramento. And so I do a little thing there after our show here. But today it's just a pre-record because I'm going to go watch an outdoor movie at Nina G's. I think we're going to go watch High Anxiety. Which,
that's a good one.
Good one.
I've started it and I kept falling asleep, but it's Mel Brooks, so I'm gonna give it its due attention. Yeah, I didn't like.
You kind of have to be in the mood, I think.
Yeah, well, I think it'll be fine. It'll be. I'm gonna see if I can smoke a cigar in her backyard. So that'll we'll see how that goes.
Very nice.
Eerie.
Yes.
I thought of a story.
Okay. Oh yes.
It's a short one, but it's a good one.
Okay.
So this story will tell you everything you need to know about San Francisco before shelter in place. So we do themes at our big shows, and the themes can be anything from like pirates to vampires to whatever, right? And this particular theme, which we've done more than once, is called State Fair. And it's all done like it's a big, state fair, like with red, white, and blue bunting and, you know, girls in cutoff jeans and stuff like that. Well, the show starts with a full marching band of clowns, and they're called the Trash Can Marching Band, and they're amazing. They actually have like trash cans they play upside down, and trombones and tubas and the whole bit, right? And we start off on 11th Street outside of DNA Lounge. We start all the way at the other end of the street, all the way down at Folsom, line up the marching band, and then, you know, blow the whistle, bum, 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 and we start marching down 11th Street. And we're going to go into DNA Lounge and around the room and up on the stage. But as we're marching down 11th Street, and there's people coming out of the bars, people coming out of the nightclubs, watching us come, and they're like all happy and excited and blah, 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 blah. And we're passing this one building, and there's a lady standing there on her cell phone, and she's looking at us with just utter horror on her face, just shocked and just disgusted. And she's standing there on her phone. And as we pass by, and I need to mention, it's like 9:30 p.m. in Soma on a Friday night, okay? And as we pass by her, she screams at me, "This is a residential building!"
And I want to speak to a manager.
Yeah. And so I just look her in the eye and I go, "And now we're past it."
God.
And it was just like, she wanted to talk to the clown manager. I mean, oh my God.
Clown manager.
Yeah. And like, you know, here's a marching band going by your street, all clowns, and that's your reaction. It's 9:30 p.m. Won't someone think of the children?
I got one because I've hosted Jim's show before, and you're backstage and I'm writing down intros, and you would not believe these intros sometimes. It's like, I want you to tell them that I have a master's degree, and I blah, blah, blah.
Sign up for my classes every Wednesday and Thursday.
Yes, at blah, blah, www. And I'm just like, fuck. Okay, so I'm writing everything down. And the funniest thing is I would ask them what their intro would be, what they wanted. And one of them is like painting glitter on, imagine just a stripped down woman, really hot, in a thong. Somebody's like rubbing glitter on her. Somebody else is like putting like mascara glue on her nipples so they can stick the pasty on. And she's like, I want you to also mention that I'm from Chicago and I have a master's degree. And can you mention my 5 shows? And I'm like, I'm distracted. Can we wait until you put some clothes on?
Eddie and I used to talk about movie fatigue and how like, there is no way we could possibly have gone back in time and told our 14-year-old selves that we would ever be in a dressing room and just don't care. like there's like tits everywhere, and there's just, you know, mountains and mountains of tits. It's like a tit wading pool, and like you're just like, completely, you don't even look. You're like, yeah, anyway, so yeah, I had a hard time finding
naked girls running up. Oh, hi, good to see you. And
yeah.
You're just like, just get off me.
You're like, can you just
sweaty.
like leave me alone? I don't want to look at your tits. God, jeez.
God,
I'm at that point in my life. Yeah, no, yeah. Put some clothes on, leave something to my imagination. I don't want to see it. Yeah.
You know, it just gets to a point where you're like, yeah, okay, all right.
Yeah, you're over it. You're over it. It's just, you know, yeah. They're not fun bags anymore. They're just bags. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, you guys, can you talk to your 14-year-old selves in your head and just go, there's going to be a point where boobs are boring.
I think your friend thought the show started at 7 because they just showed up.
Oh.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, as soon as I saw it, I'm like, oh,
All right.
look at the show.
We got like 5 minutes for her. Where are you at, Sarge?
Hi. Sorry,
That's okay.
What's good? Hi.
Well, you look great, and that's okay. That's okay.
Thanks. How is everybody?
Look at your hair. It's so cute.
Hi. I look like a Mrs. Swirly. Woo.
Love it. Do you want to just quickly introduce yourself and just tell us kind of what you're doing to like fulfill your empty burlesque life, and just introduce yourself and talk about just really quickly. We got about 5 minutes.
Yeah. My name's Sargent Device. I'm the sole producer of Womanopoly. I am from San Francisco, California. I don't know where everybody is. I don't know how many people are in this meeting. I didn't even look. I just know I'm late as fuck. Nonetheless, I have working like a mad woman trying to figure out how we're going to start producing outside of our regular context. And I am technically in talks right now with the possibility that's going to allow us to do some performances that is like COVID compliant. And hopefully if we're going to be, like, because of all the drama that's been happening, I feel like lately, it feels like we're starting from scratch, which is, maybe I'm an optimist, call me an optimist, but I feel like it's a good thing because we wanted to do it over again. And if we did do it over again, it's going to be by us, like for us as performers, us as producers, us as venue owners, and just like building it from scratch, you know, kind of like the way it was back in the day, you know? So I'm excited about that. And I know that sounds crazy, but I guess we've been talking about putting it back in our hands because I feel like a lot of times we've been at the mercy of venues. If we weren't lucky enough to have a venue that had our back and like did like promotional work and also helped us produce the situation, or like be able to be accommodating to our performers and be understanding. So now with us being able to start up from scratch, I think we're in a good position, even though we feel fucked.
That's nice.
Right.
You said so much just in like 3 minutes, and I completely.
Sorry, I was telling him how
appreciate you
you've been
so
doing a
much.
lot of Zoom shows too.
Yeah, I've been doing a fuck ton of Zoom shows, and that's really, like, I mean, that's one itch, you know, but I actually miss being a producer and having that kind of like, that panic of like, ooh, the show gotta keep moving. Oh fuck, there's this, and like going from being in person to person, like, or face to face, one-on-one, or even one against like thousands in performance spaces. It's so different when you're trying to feed from that energy when the audience isn't in front of you, and you're feeding into your computer. You're like, yes, computer, love me, make love to that.
I call it
so crazy.
When we do our, I call it stand-up comedy, the video game. So I feel it's like, yeah, burlesque, the video game. You know, yeah, similar feeling.
Yeah, I feel like it's like Xbox Connect on crack. You're just like, this isn't just like Dance Revolution, whatever the fuck, you know. This is like dance, sachet, always on. Oh my God, my lash is wonky. Let me fix it right here on the camera. I don't give a fuck. Like, it's just, it's just like, make it work, baby. Make it work, you know.
Oh my God, dude! Why don't I know you? Where do you live? Do you live in Sacramento? Where do you live?
Don't tell her. Don't
I
tell
live
her.
in Oakland. I live in
Oh,
Oakland,
you
baby.
do?
I have a
Oh,
Oakland.
shit.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it. It's on. We gotta be friends. I live in Oakland too. We gotta be friends. Oh my God, I love her, Jim.
Right? I told you.
Dude. Oh my God.
I'm so sorry I'm late to this. I wish I would have known because I thought I had an interview at 7-Eleven, but I guess I was scheduled for the wrong day. That's why I was like, what meeting? Where am I supposed? What's going on? I'm late. I am literally the white rabbit. That's me. I'm like, where's my watch? I'm like always late. I'm like, I'll be there. I'll be late, but I'll be there.
I love how optimistic you are, and because some people are like not optimistic, Jim.
Like me.
And
It's okay.
No,
all right. It's a rock bottom.
We've had a long therapy session.
It's good to have two levels.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I do want to ask. I want to ask you. Do you? The one thing that I really miss in comedy is, and I see it when I went to the show. I did a show last night. The camaraderie of actually getting to see your fellow artists when you go to a show. Are you missing that as well? Because I know I miss that a lot.
Are you talking about me?
Yeah, I'm talking
Do I
to
miss
you.
it? Are you fucking kidding me? It is literally like, I don't care if the audience is against me. In the end, what I do it like, you know that saying about women get dressed up for other women, you know, like that kind of shit. Like, you don't really give a fuck about like, oh, you literally, I'm performing for my fellow performers, my fellow producers, like fellow appreciators. And there are some people in the audience, yes, I'm like, oh, I really want to dazzle this person, but yes, I feed off that energy big time. And like, there's a certain aura that happens when you're in a room full of people doing the thing, you know, just like it's a high. And at the same time, you know, you feel like when you're watching somebody struggling and they can't get out of their corset, and then the fucking thing is chasing them across the stage because it's hooked on their fucking shoe, and then the fucking thing, it's one thing after another, and you just like, you really feel that because you've been there, you know? So yes, I highly feel that, and I miss the shit out of everybody. And I know it feels like, I feel like everybody's just like, well, fuck it, there's nothing to go to anyway, so let's burn everything to the ground. And I'm just like, no, bro, like there's so much more. It's like, we're not just the body, you know, the spirit is here. And
Well,
I feel like people should really fucking not forget that, you know, like that we are more than just people, like, you know, taking our clothes off or sticking nails up our noses or fucking whatever, hanging from the ceilings by fucking beautiful fucking silks and things like we're more than that, you know. We're these beautiful energies that are like putting so much out there, but beyond just what you can see, there's so much energy that's being exchanged. And I miss that I miss that energy exchange big time, you know. I miss that huge.
Well, if I
So
can,
that's why I'm working so hard.
Yeah.
I can say something to that, which is that, you know, you don't notice it because it happens day by day after day. But the fact of the matter is that this community grew together over years and years. And this might be a job, but it is also our social circle, our family. We have experienced weddings, funerals, births, love affairs, fights, everything, all within our group
So
of
much.
friends. And
Yeah.
all these people came one at a time over the years, integrated in, became part of this group where, you know, you go to a funeral or you go to a wedding and there's 150 people there that you know, you know, because that's how long we've been knitting this thing together. And not as a show, not as a business, as a group of friends, as a community.
Yeah.
Oh, there's your place.
I no, and just so you know, and then, you know, in the comedy community, it's very similar. It's that very similar kind of feeling where you're really going when I actually got, like I said, keep talking about, I got to do a live show last night. It was outdoors and everything, but like going and getting to see even just a few of my friends, my comedy friends, was really cool to actually just be like, how are you, man? How's it going?
Yeah.
And then, you know,
It feels so good.
It feels so good.
I can't even imagine.
And then 100% like, oh, I want to do well, not just for the audience, but because there were some good comics there that I want to like impress, you know, and I hadn't done live comedy in a long time. And I completely understand what you're saying. Going and actually getting to talk to them and be with them is like, there's a love there, you know, and there's a support group there, and there's a little bit of a competition there, and there's a little bit, and it's just, it really feeds you. And
You're just being too modest. She followed her nemesis last night.
I wasn't even talking about her.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay because at minute 4 she started bombing. So
Okay, all right.
that is fucked up. That is fucked
It's
up.
fine.
I
It's
didn't
not,
say that.
you know.
I'm cutting that out. No, she was great. She was really good.
I
Oh, you
wish
know what?
I
That-
could do comedy, man. Comedy scares the shit out of me. And I feel like the closest I'm ever going to come to comedy is when I get to host shows. And oftentimes I feel like there's like the gap of silence is too long, or I feel like I've been talking too long, or like I'm like sticking on to one topic for too long. I'm lucky I get to watch Kingfish fucking do this thing. And I can really think about, like, literally not even one time, even when the snafus were happening, he still was able to roll with it. And it never looked like it wasn't cohesive. And it's just something I admire so much and hope someday I could get into comedy. Because I mean, I love doing burlesque. Who doesn't want to shake their ass with the G-string on and throw things at the audience and get away with it? You know?
Dude, what you do is amazing. No.
I've always
Honestly,
wanted to do comedy, and I just could never do it, dude. Like, I'm terrified. Like, the bombing factor, like, that is, like, my worst fucking fear, to bomb in front of an audience. I'm like,
do it. Oh yeah, you will bomb, but it'll make you stronger.
But I
I'm
was
sorry,
like,
you're funny as hell.
all night.
Yeah, you're funnier. You're fun. I can already tell you're a funny person who also has a zest for life.
Yep.
Unless you really want to learn how to have fun, not having fun, just get the laughs in the places that you love being, because that's really what I've found. Because no, comedy is much more. It's
stringent.
I have fun being miserable. That's why I like comedy. But it's I'm telling you, when I see true joy, anybody that I see true joy just in their spirit, and they talk about doing comedy, I'm like, I feel like Billy Madison, when that one kid who goes like, I can't wait to go to high school, and he's like, no, stay here for the love of God. You know, like, that's, you know. But yeah, I already know you get laughs. Just doing your thing.
You get laughs. Just yeah. No, you're fine. Yeah. You got it.
He's a very funny MC, by the way.
Yeah, exactly.
I can see that.
I watched for a very long time. I watched so many times. I watched Jim, and I just see how you can like control a crowd. Like, I go to comedy shows, and I'm the bitch that's sitting in the middle of the audience, my arms crossed, like, this guy is not fucking funny. I'm gonna go to get a comedy show, you know? Like,
that's what I'm talking about.
So like, I'm brutal about my comedy. Like, I am about like which barbecue places I go to, or like which taquerias I go to. Like, I'm an avid, like, and some people I fuck with, and other people like, you're not funny, so I'm not gonna waste my energies trying to fake a smile or a laugh for you. I'm just gonna go here and get me a drink and talk to my friends and not be rude during your set. You know what I mean? Like, give the seat to somebody who does think you're funny.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's actually nicer than a lot of the comedians I know.
Humanity right there.
Yeah. A lot of comedians I know, if they don't like your set, they'll actually. It's just a lot of looking at the back of somebody's phone. That's what it is.
Oh shit!
I think it's
no,
so
fuck
rude.
that.
Like, if I'm like seriously, if I'm like filming somebody, or I'm like, and I like to give encouragement, but I'm like, don't ask me unless you want the brutal ass truth, because that's all I want from my friends and my peers. I'm like, don't lie to me. Be brutally honest with me, because like, I really do want to grow and I want to be better, and I don't want to just ask you just to be like fluffing my ego. You know, I actually want to grow rapport with the people I talk with, because we're a team, you know, we're a family. And like, if you grow those relationships and you're brutally honest, then you never have to worry about if somebody's fucking fake or not, you know, just be 100. Don't be a fucking fake ass.
Yeah, it's a land of not 100s.
No.
But you know what? 52s. It's a land of 52s, you know, and to say, it's not a lot of hundreds.
So I want to ask on that thing. I know we're going over just a little bit, but I do want to ask. So in the world of burlesque, like, there's got to be like in comedy, there's like haters, and there's shitty people, there's people that think they're amazing but they suck. Like, in general, like, do you and like, is there's drama in the burlesque world? I mean, where's she going? She's going. You don't have no names.
Drama is burlesque? I don't know what you're talking about. There's no way that burlesque has
There's drama in burlesque. So what?
Never like
just
that.
Your question. It's
so my question is
like,
yeah.
Go ahead.
No, my question is tell me a little bit about the atmosphere. The seedy side of that. Like, tell me a little. Like, is there that? Is that a thing? Is there? You know.
Well, it's really funny. Just to really as shortly as I can possibly answer, like, when I got into burlesque, I didn't want to get involved because I was like a tomboy. I'm still very much a tomboy. I didn't want to get involved to be with a bunch of fucking divas and like pretty girls who are like, oh my god, like that. Like, I didn't want to be a part of it. I was hoping it was like roller derby with pasties. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, I'm fucking like that's what I wanted. And you know what? For the most part, that's what I got. At least that's
sparkly.
That's I know, right? That's the side I mostly got. And then
sparkly double.
Sometimes like, she was really the one that showed me like the rock and roll perspective, or like that there was room for anti-divas like us. Like, it's okay to dress up in pretty shit, but you can fuck shit up too while you're like dressed as pretty. So like, I would get involved with some people who are just as cool as can be. It's so much fun. And then once in a great while, I'd say 1 out of every 100 burlesquers, there's some seedy, dicey asshole who's just got ulterior motives, who have their own agenda and don't give a fuck about who they hurt trying to get what they want, you know? And that's in any scene. And I just ain't got time for no shit like that. Like, I don't have time to waste with people who don't give a fuck about the community that we helped build, you know? So yeah, there are people like that, but honestly, they don't last long. They usually like just work themselves out and excuse themselves, or like they get picked up by their fucking belt loops and, you know, pitch the fuck out, you know, because people don't want to fucking deal with being with them, you know? And exactly. Bye, Felicia. And no, you can't borrow my VCR.
That's
bye,
me.
hoes. See you. I don't come for me unless I send for you, bitch. And I swear to God, there's been so many times where I've been watching, especially on these Zoom things, and there's been fucking shit happening and people talking shit and being rude. And so I like, man, if I could go stab through this phone, I had 12 YOTs in my back pocket, bitch. Shut the fuck up.
Okay, Sargent, I love you, Sargent. Unfortunately, Dave, I know you got to get going, and we've done about an hour here, so I'm going to end it. I'm so sorry we didn't get more time with you.
It's okay. I had such a fun
Come back.
Okay,
Yeah, we'll
Sargent,
have you back.
guys,
Definitely.
Sargent, I sent you a friend request. We know Crystal Mathatic. That's my baby.
Okay.
I'm so sorry
Yeah.
I missed this. I'm such an idiot. If you don't know by now, I'm a total moron. So you got to just keep at
We
me
love you.
and know that I'm not. I'm sorry, but yes, I want to come
Bye-bye.
back.
Thank you very much, love. You are amazing. We got to have you back.
David,
Kingfish,
awesome show as always, but extra
thank
awesome.
you so much for being on the show. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Please check them out, anything they're doing. Me and Dave, thank you again. And I'm Eerie Diamond. Thanks you guys so much for
Love
coming.
you guys.
I really appreciate it.
Thanks
Bye,
very much,
sweeties.
you guys.
Love you guys. See you next week.
Bye, everybody.
Good one, everybody.